Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me, Allison Lloyd, for our professional development on meeting dates and specially designed instruction. We'll begin with the meeting date, IEP start date, and IEP end date. The annual IEP should be held on or before the meeting date, and your meeting date will be the date that the meeting is actually held. The IEP start date should begin a few days after the meeting is held or a few days after the meeting date. It's important to note that you should also have a PWN that is dated after the meeting date and before the IEP start date. This shows that the parent has received the PWN before services have started so that they have time to disagree with anything that the team discussed. The PWN should be dated after the meeting date but before the services start on the IEP start date. The IEP end date will continue to be 364 days after the IEP annual meeting date. Here's an example to review. In this example, the meeting date is August 11th, 2021. What you don't see here is that the PWN was written and given to parents by August 13th, 2021. This allows the IEP writer some time to develop the PWN and then give to the parents or guardian. The IEP start date, or the date that services will start or continue, is August 16th, 2021. This is also a few days after the PWN date. This means that the parent was given a chance to review the IEP and disagree with any services. The IEP end date is 364 days after the meeting date. In this case, it's August 10th, 2022, because our meeting date was August 11th, 2021. Don't forget, the PWN should be dated after the IEP meeting date, but before the IEP start date. Let's try another example. With this example, Holly's annual IEP meeting is due no later than September 14th, so the IEP team must meet to review her current IEP no later than September 14th. The IEP annual review is scheduled for September 7th and held on that day. We know the meeting date is going to be September 7th, 2021. What would a reasonable PWN, IEP start date, and IEP meeting end date be? In this example, the meeting date is written on the day that it was held, September 7th, 2021. The IEP writer developed and gave the PWN to the parent or guardian on September 9th, 2021. The IEP start date is September 13th, 2021. The parent or guardian has had time to review the IEP and services stated by the time the IEP is set to start services. The IEP end date is September 6th, 2022, which is 364 days after the meeting date of September 7th, 2021. Next, we'll discuss specially designed instruction. Here are some details you'll need to know going forward looking at our examples. The student we're discussing is Johnny, a 7th grade student who's receiving special education services for having a specific learning disability in writing. We've saw this slide in our kickoff presentation, but it's important to remember it as we go. We need to remember that specially designed instruction is instruction that's different from what the student's peers in general education get. In other words, how is this instruction specifically designed for the students who are receiving IEP services and the goals on those IEPs. SDI should reflect the time the student receives getting direct instruction in a goal area. Specially designed instruction needs to be documented in the PLAF, the student's goal, and on the Environments and Services page. Here we're looking at the present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. The PLAF. In the writing section, the IEP writer has described what Johnny is able to do in writing, the goal that they're going to be working on, and the strategies and instruction that will be given that is specially designed for Johnny in the area of writing. In this case, we know that Johnny is able to write 3 simple sentences in a paragraph. They contain both a noun and a verb, and the subject and predicate agree. Johnny's going to be working on increasing the number of descriptive words that he has in his sentences, and will be learning sensory strategies, thinking maps, and resource skills to learn or to aid in his achievement of this goal. Johnny will also spend time getting independent practice, small group practice, and other assistance. However, this will not be specially designed instruction. This time will be spent in practice, which is not direct instruction in a goal. This is what it'll be written as, or what it might look like on your Environments and Services page. We know that the area is in writing and that this is happening in the special education classroom. The meeting date was September 7th, 2021, and the IEP will end no later than September 6th, 2022. You can see that there's a small sentence or two written underneath this information, and this will be the frequency and duration clarification in each box per goal area. Here we have our specially designed instruction will be strategies for writing different sentence types. It specifically says in the box that these different strategies of instruction will include sensory writing strategies to build the descriptive sentences, and that the remaining time that the student spends in this classroom will be spent on small group practice, independent practice, and computer-based practice. Having 40 minutes a month written as the time means that 10 minutes a week the student is going to spend receiving direct instruction in his writing goals. We know that your student is going to be with you for more than 10 minutes a week. In this case, it's very likely that this student is attending a special education environment or classroom for 30 minutes a week. We will explain further down how to write about the other 20 minutes a week that Johnny is spending in the classroom. Our frequency is going to be 4 10-minute sessions per month, which again is 10 minutes per week, and is the amount of time the teacher spends instructing in an area of goal work. The duration will be 364 days from the meeting date. In your clarification, you're making a note about the time that you're instructing in the goal work, but also what is happening for the other 20 minutes a week that Johnny's spending in this classroom. Our clarification, meaning the instruction in sensory strategies to build descriptive sentences, remaining minutes in special education setting are spent on small group practice, independent practice, and computer-based practice. This is a very short description that sums up what the minutes mean as they are written here on this page. Remember, we must consider how this instruction is special. We do that by adapting content, methodology, and/or delivery of instruction. one or more of these areas. In this case, the methodology is being adapted. There are strategies being used to make this specially designed instruction in the area of reading. We mentioned that Johnny is a 7th grade student. This is for his area of disability in writing. The 7th grade standards in writing that relate to his goal are Writing 1, Writing 2, and Writing 3. In the PLAF, we've stated about the strategies that Johnny will be learning in order to meet his goal. And on the Environments and Services page, we've explained how Johnny's time will be spent receiving this instruction. And this is how Johnny's education has been specialized. If you need help or support in any of what's been talked about in this presentation, please feel free to reach out to me at this email address and extension number. Thank you.